Hi, welcome to the Conservation Chronicles, which is the podcast from the Wildlife Trust for Lancashire, Manchester and North Merseyside. I'm one of your hosts, Jenny Bunyan, and I'm here with our other lovely co-host, Lydia German.
Hello.
And we just thought we would go through a little bit about ourselves, what we're doing, why we're here, and a little bit more about the podcast. So, Lydia, what do we do all day?
Good question, because a lot of my family just think that I hang around in fields and play outside, which, to be honest, when you drill down to it, is not that far from the truth. So Jenny and I both work in our communications team at the Trust, and it is our job to be the vehicle to tell these amazing stories of everything that is going on, whether that's print, whether that's website, whether it's social media, press, all that sort of thing.
Podcast.
And podcasts. This is our new exciting podcast, which we're so excited to bring to you. So we do so many things within our roles, as we've just said, but also, there is so much to tell. And we've got quite a large comms team, of which we're just a small part.
We're just a couple of them.
Yeah.
So I work kind of right across the whole of Lancashire Wildlife Trust, trying to find all those kind of amazing stories about what all our amazing staff, volunteers and supporters are doing to try and help wildlife and make a difference for nature, right here on our doorsteps in the extremely long Lancashire, Manchester and North Merseyside, which if anyone has ever wondered is basically we look after what was the old county boundary of Lancashire before Manchester
if you're involved
Merseyside
controversial.
Split off, so that's why we've got such a long name. But yeah, what we do is all about trying to tell the public at home, but also, policymakers, stakeholders, businesses, landowners, all of those different people, organisations that have actually got a hand in what happens to the wildlife and the nature here in Lancashire, Manchester and North Merseyside. Getting those messages out there and letting people kind of know what we're doing all day. Your role encompasses a few other bits as well, doesn't it?
Mine is more focused on, I guess you could say, public campaigns as in policy, which is I wouldn't say it's a new direction for us in the Trust. So, for example, Dave, who works on our policy and advocacy, has been working at Lancashire Wildlife Trust since before I was born. I mean, he's an absolute legend.
He's
but
amazing.
It's my job to kind of show the public and try and encourage them to take action for nature, whether that's writing to their MP about a new policy. Last year I ran our Vote Wildlife campaign as part of the general election, and we're trying to encourage people to be more politically active because we know that 1 in 6 in our species are now endangered. Yeah. And so trying to communicate what the issue is with the biodiversity crisis and climate change and everything, why people should care on a local level. Obviously, we cover a broad area, but, we are a local charity compared to a national one. And trying to be that vehicle that helps people to take action for the things that they really care about as well.
I suppose that's one of the things we're trying to do with the podcast is it's another way of trying to get those stories out there and tell people about what we do and why we're actually so lucky to be able to do this. I mean, I don't know about you, but I really love working for the Trust. I really love telling people, sometimes people go, oh, what do you do? It's I work for Lancashire Wildlife Trust. And everyone goes, oh,
yeah.
And that's really amazing.
Yeah.
And then obviously I use that as a jumping off point to tell them all about what we do as a trust. And 3 hours later I'm still going. And
yeah, I do. I mean, I absolutely love working here. It is the best job I've ever had. But it's funny when you go on walks with friends, everyone's like, can you identify this tree? Do you know what this bug is? I'm like, okay, I don't know everything, guys. I will try my best. But yeah, I mean, the whole reason why I got into it is I came from a communications and marketing background. So I did that for around 8 years. And it kind of got to the point where I was thinking, I kind of want to use my skills to make a difference in the world. My granddad's amazing. He's always been a massive inspiration to me. He worked at the Environment Agency and he always, tried to campaign for local land, which I guess is what I take into a lot of what I do now and why I'm so passionate about it. And he's always ringing me every week. What have you done at the Wildlife Trust this week? But yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to get into it. And I've been here for 2 years now. And I feel like every day is a learning day. And the more I learn, the more I realise I don't know. Yeah. But it's amazing sitting here with these guests on this podcast. I'm just learning things all the time, and I love that there's so much nuance to these conversations that we can have now compared to social media, which is you 280 characters on X.
I know, it's madness.
But that's why I'm so excited about what we do as well.
I think just going back to your point about kind of these amazing experts that we work with, it's difficult to say my favourite thing about my job, but it's really got to be up there, is, we get to basically sort of hang out with and follow around and ask questions to people who are amazing experts in their field, who just know everything, and it's so great. And you're just like following them around a field or a peat bog somewhere and being like, what's that, why are we doing that, what is this up here?
I become that person that asks the questions.
I love doing that. It's so cool. So when I first joined the trust, I worked specifically with our peatlands team. And I'm always going to be a peat girl at heart, really. I love peatlands. I just think there's no better place on earth. And, some of the experiences I had doing that. So a few years ago, we reintroduced the Manchester Argus, or large heath butterfly, back onto one of our peatland nature reserves in Greater Manchester. And, I got the privilege of being there and, going down. You went to check once or normally twice a day, to go and check if any new butterflies had emerged from their pupa in the release tent. And I'm there, and I sort of walked up to this tent and I unzipped it, and I was like, oh my God, there's a butterfly, there's a large heath and it's in there. And then I was like, oh, it's going to come out, and I'm going to let it out, and it's going to be, like some kind of Disney moment where it flutters out and it's going to be beautiful. And I opened this thing and it just sort of sat there and was like, yes, it's great in here. I've got loads of food and it's warm and it's safe and it's fabulous. And I say, okay, what do I do now? I'll just wait for a bit. Took loads of pictures, just sat, and it was beautiful. It was quiet. The sun was shining. But then eventually I was like, no, I really am going to have to get this butterfly out of here. Yeah. So I just sort of quietly, just encouraged it out.
They are a lazy butterfly in general.
So lazy. Yeah. I love them for it. And it literally, I was like, oh, okay, it flew out. I was like, oh, it's going to be amazing. And it flew out and it just landed on my knee. And this beautiful little butterfly that was just this precious, amazing thing is there just like crawling around my knee, being like, hey. And eventually I encouraged it onto some crossleaf heath, which is its main food source. And then, just sort of sat there just quietly on my own watching this butterfly that I just released. And I was like, I think this might be the best thing I've ever done. It might be, one of the best moments of my life. And being able to kind of share that with people I just think that's super special, and that's very much kind of why I do what I do all day.
Would you say that was your favourite day on the job?
Oh, I think it's really hard to find it's definitely up there.
Because you've been here for a few years now, haven't you?
Yeah.
You must have quite a few moments from, what is it, like 5?
About 5 years now. Yeah, there's countless, sort of driving off site and barn owls swooping literally, maybe half a metre in front of my car was, stunning. But just recently, I spent the day with John Haddon, who's one of our sort of senior conservationists. He's amazing, knows everything. Reserve manager for Central Lancashire. And basically just followed him round as we went and looked at 2 of our lesser known nature reserves, actually, Cop Lane and Freeman's Pasture. And it was just stunning because he's got all this amazing knowledge and was just imparting it left, right, and centre, and all these things where I'm just like, this is a beautiful wildflower meadow. But when you get that additional knowledge and you can just sort of soak it up from someone as knowledgeable as John, it just suddenly has this like additional layer of brilliance.
Yeah, it's like peeling back the layers, isn't it? And you're like, oh my God, I can see how all these things interlink now.
Yeah.
And a whole understanding of ecology. And it's just amazing. And then you just learn so much all the time.
Yeah, it is like never ending. I mean, you must have had some pretty great
Yes, I'm excited to tell my favourite moment. So obviously I've kind of touched on the policy work that we do there, but I have to say my favourite, probably one of my top 5 favourite days in my life, might I add.
Wow.
This is my favourite day ever in this job. I've been here for 2 years now, so this was last year, so 1 year into the job. And I'd kind of only just started looking into our policy work and mobilisation and campaigning and that sort of thing. And then the general election got called. And what we realised in the policies across all the parties is that nature wasn't really high up on the agenda. And the year before that, we'd had the State of Nature report, which was detailing that 1 in 6 species are now at risk of being critically endangered. And so what we were trying to encourage people to do is vote wildlife. That was our slogan, #VoteWildlife, is make your own mind up about who you're going to vote for, but make sure that if it's something that you're passionate about, then ask your potential candidates, what are they going to do if they get in?
Yeah.
And so there was this huge march that was arranged in London with loads of different organisations, lots of different environmental charities. Chris Packham was there. Emma Thompson was there as well. We had all of our ambassadors there. They estimated that around 20,000 people went overall.
That's amazing.
But it was my role to kind of mobilise our staff to go and our volunteers to join us as well. And we held sort of banner making parties before it, and everyone was getting dead excited, and I was like the DJ at these little events as well, getting everyone so excited. Yes, we had to get a coach at 5 o'clock in the morning. Yes, we were all tired, but we shared a coach with Cheshire Wildlife Trust because we'd worked with them on it, and Lancashire were like the naughty kids at the back of the bus. We were all just like, oh my God, like we're so excited. It doesn't matter whether it's 5 o'clock in the morning, we are going to be joining tens of thousands of other people in London to march outside of Parliament and say, this is what we want you to focus on the next general election, no matter who gets in power. And so that just felt like such a special moment. I actually have a photo of us all at the back of the bus, which is on my desk, and everyone's just so hyper. And I'm like, oh, I get emotional. Yeah, still thinking about it. I mean, obviously, it comes with a lot of challenges working in environmental policy. You know, there has been a lot of times when I felt disheartened, but that was a real moment for me of empowerment. And I was like, that is just, and the whole march was, it felt like I was in a film. I was dressed as a butterfly, as you do. And big sign saying protect our pollinators. And to me, it just made me even more, it gave me even more fire to pursue that side of it.
It's so great. Unfortunately, I can only ever hear that story and feel really annoyed because I wasn't there on the day.
We missed you.
Because I had to take my son to a driving track race experience thing, which felt like possibly the most opposite to attending the Restore Nature Now. I spent the whole day stood on the side of this racetrack being extremely grumpy. But yeah, I think there's so much going on with what we do and with, you know, within the Wildlife Trust, and it's brilliant and it's exciting, and it's not always the big amazing, you know, £1 million projects that are wonderful, but I really like sometimes actually when you just talk to someone and just say, you know, feed the birds in your garden, don't use peat-based compost. And it's these little things actually that are so easy for people to, you know, adopt and do, but that does make a real difference. And actually being able to tell people, yeah, you do have power to make change, you can affect that, is a really wonderful thing. And sometimes people, you know, feel like, oh, there's nothing I can do.
I get this all the time working in environmental policy as well. I get people email, because I send out our campaigning emails, I get people saying like, my MP's not even replied to this, or I've got the most generic response ever. And it's like, well, there are other things that you can do. Yeah. And there's a lot of resources on our website around that. I won't dive into that now. But that is one of the things I come up against. But it's true. Everyone coming together can make a massive difference.
Yeah, I really love that. And I just think that's probably one of the things that I enjoy most about sort of what we get to do all day, as well as like hanging out with amazing rare butterflies and super cool wildlife experts. That's also pretty good.
Yeah. So there's so many things that people can do to take action for nature.
Yeah, there
and
really is.
It could be just things that are as simple as things that they can do at home. It could be volunteering with us. It could be donating, all that sort of thing. And as I say, there's such a wide range of what people can do. And that's what I'm so excited to talk to our podcast guests about, because they come from different areas all across the Trust and they have so many insights into how people can help nature. And that's why we kind of wanted to create the Conservation Chronicles, which is the title of our podcast, which comes from the idea that obviously the main thing that we are doing as a trust is conserving and restoring nature. And it's now a chronicle series. Yeah. So that's where it comes from. And I'm really excited for some of the episodes that we've got coming up, especially this afternoon. We actually have I can't say. We do have an actual animal joining us this afternoon.
A very special guest coming in.
Yeah, we have a very special animal guest this afternoon, which I'm so excited about, because I feel like people are gonna love that. But also many different conversations to be had and lots of really insightful knowledge imparted on us that I didn't even know about.
Yeah,
before.
Absolutely. We've got episodes on peatlands, on urban nature. We've got episodes on nature and well-being. We do a lot of work in that sphere. We've got an episode entirely dedicated to Wigan. And you may not think Wigan is a hotspot of nature, but it really is. There's loads and loads of super exciting stuff coming up. Can't wait.
We are super excited for you to listen to and watch the Conservation Chronicles here on our YouTube channel. So keep posted and we will be sharing the episodes with you very soon.